Happy October of 2022 to my ballistic blood brothers and sisters in arms. I'm back at Pool and Auctions in Fairfield, Maine, back to work, and I recently shot a video on a fascinating piece that's going to be going across the podium the first week of November, and that was the FG42, an absolutely beautiful museum-grade FG42 machine gun. And I promised that I would share a couple other interesting ones. So this at first glance may not look all that interesting. We're all familiar with the Thompson, the Tommy gun, the Chicago typewriter, the gun that made the 20s roar, and we're all familiar with the 1928 Thompson and the M1 Thompson. But there's a few Thompsons out there that some of us may not be so familiar with, and we're going to start taking a look at those. And tonight we're starting with the 1929, the model 1929 Thompson, made by BSA. So the story of the model 1929 Thompson goes something like this. In the late 1920s, Auto Ordnance was looking to expand their footprint on the global market, and they offered BSA, British Small Arms, the rights to produce the Thompson submachine gun for consideration to the European market. And this is what BSA came up with, the model of 1929, still bearing the name Thompson submachine gun. Now, one of the hurdles that they had to face was the European market didn't like the rear pistol grip style of the Thompson submachine gun, or a lot of American guns at the time. Hence, this odd-looking rear, not a pistol grip. They wanted to make something that was more straight and in line. You'll notice that in front of this is the trigger. The trigger mechanism is way to the rear of the receiver, where with a traditional Thompson, it's right up here, right behind the magazine well. So on this one, everything had to be rebuilt, trigger all the way to the rear, but it was still kind of odd to hold and utilize. So this was put there, not so you could use it like we would use a pistol grip, but with your hand going over the top, your fingers would wrap around this, so your trigger finger could utilize the trigger as normal. And somehow that was supposed to be more appealing to the European market than if they actually marketed it like it was proven to be so successful with the traditional Thompson, say the 1928 or even the 1927 style. These were tested in standard 9mm Parabellum, 9x23 or 9mm Bergman, in 7.63 Mauser, and of course 45 ACP like our Thompsons. This particular gun is one of only two 45 ACP guns that still exist today. Now, it never made it into production in that post-World War I era, but as World War II began and there was a necessity for more submachine guns, they started pursuing another variant in 9mm Parabellum, and although it was heavily tested, that one never made it to prime time either. This particular gun has a 12.5-inch barrel measured over a 4-slotted unmarked cuts compensator, looking very similar to the original, including the horizontal fore-end. The barrel is marked over the chamber with the crown and the BM, the Birmingham proof mark. The charging handle is a round ball that's slotted with a really thin knurled area around the largest circumference. And it utilized a standard front sight and a Lyman rear sight graduated out to 600 meters. The left side of the receiver has the markings model of 1929, number 2, BSA Thompson submachine gun, caliber 45 automatic Colt cartridge, manufactured by BSA Company Limited, England. The right side of the receiver is marked with Thompson's patent date block near the rear of the magazine well. The selector is directly behind the mag well and is marked single and auto, with the safety to the rear marked fire and safe. As well as the trigger mechanism being very different, especially the location of it, its placement, instead of right behind the mag well, it's all the way to the rear of the receiver, is the magazine release. And the magazine release is an entirely different type than the standard one, just to the rear of the mag well on the left side. And while there are a lot of differences internally and externally, the most striking is this crazy looking, not a pistol grip, kind of pistol grip at the rear of the receiver. And if you thought that that FG42 is rare, which it is, I think this one might be a little more rare than that. This particular gun is serial number 2. So how cool is that? A Thompson that most of us have never even heard about, the model of 1929, serial number 2, one of only 2 known in this caliber in existence. I thought that you might enjoy that as much as I do. And I'm really thrilled to be able to get some hands-on with this stuff, be able to research and share the information about them before these things take off and go over the auction block in November. So this was the second gun of at least a 4-part series. The next one we're going to look at is another Thompson variant that is also extremely rare. It might be rarer than this. Matter of fact, I'm quite sure it is. If you're a Thompson fan or a military trials fan, you'll recognize it right away. It is the T2 from the T2 trials at Aberdeen Proving Ground. The next gun we're going to share was actually the one utilized during the testing at Aberdeen. How cool is that? So I hope you enjoyed this peek at another really interesting, really historically significant firearm, the Thompson BSA model of 1929 Thompson submachine gun. If you did, please click like, share this video with your friends in your vast social media universe. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already, both on YouTube and on Rumble. And keep your eyes open for the next installment. We're going to look at that really neat Aberdeen Proving Ground T2 Thompson. And the gun after that, how about a Stoner Model 63A? I thought you'd like that. Till next time, have fun and be safe.